Get to the cake. I'm on a mission for maze, no matter how long it's gonna take. I could just see it already. Give me that new Benz or the Wraith.
All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Super excited for yet another episode of Between the Lines podcast. For those of y'all that usually tune in, I know this looks a little bit brand new. I know y'all are used to the in-person vibe, the in-person conversation where you can get a lot more of the, just the feel and the vibe of what's going on. But we have a great guest today. But before we even get into the introduction and get into who we have, just please go back, on the YouTube channel, Apple, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever the case may have you, and just check out some old episodes, man. Leave comments, reviews, 5-star ratings. Just let me know what you think about it. Of course, it's Keith here. But we got my brother, Malcolm Garrison, man. He's a father, he's a husband. He's honest. He's a financial, he's in the financial field. He's a tax preparator. And he does a lot of good things, man. From being an entrepreneur and being able to balance that type of lifestyle, with his wife and, having 2 kids, and both of them still being, toddlers, I shall say, to be able to do that at such a great rate and at such a, proficient level, you got to have some sort of, discipline. You got to have some sort of balance. You got to have some sort of just being present, and everything. So without further ado, Malcolm, bro, I appreciate you, taking time and getting on the pod and being the first guest to go virtual BTL, man. I think this is super exciting. But before we dive into the questions and, just the conversation, just really quickly, man, just let us know how you feeling, how your 2024 going, and we'll dive right in.
Yeah, bro. 2024 has been dope, bro. Honestly, me and my wife, we set out, to have some goals be accomplished this year. So we just really been focused. This year has been a lot about focus. I can't complain at all, man. I really can't. I love my life. I love, everything that is shaping up to be. But
Good.
yeah, man.
I love it, man. I love it. And one thing I just like to kind of remind the people that's listening or watching, and even just the guests that come on is, when we have these conversations, one thing I love about this podcast and just kind of having conversations with people is not only do I want the people to get to learn who you are in your field and what you do, but I want people to get to know the true Malcolm in terms of, how did you become the person that you are today, right? I think that's what kind of, allows my conversations to stand out for many is just that, we're not just talking about the glitz and the glamour and the good things and the things that you're successful at, but I understand that a lot of times it takes a lot of trial and tribulations to get to where you are. And I like to kind of unpack them layers. So before we even dive into the good things and, what you got going on currently, just real quickly, just talk to us about, just your upbringing, man. Like, what was your upbringing like, your family life, where you come from? Like, how was the morals and values that you have today as a man? How was that instilled in you, currently?
Yeah, bro. What's crazy is I was born in Philly originally, and then once I think around 7 years old, that's when I moved to Baltimore. So I claim I'm from Baltimore, but obviously, I was born in
Philly.
Philly. So we up north, we Northerners. I can tell in your accent.
I saw that, man. New York.
You know,
Yep.
New York. So grew up in Baltimore. My dad, mom and dad was in the house, so I always had that family dynamic, and I seen that at a young age. Obviously, my parents are old, they were, I think they're about 35 years older than me. So right now they in their late 60s right now. So seeing them, get older, it's been a journey, bro, to see
I
that.
bet.
But yeah, what's
I bet.
crazy is grew up with a bunch of sisters too.
Oh, so
So
how
it's
many?
8 of
So
us.
how many siblings you have? It's 80 y'all. Okay. Okay.
It's
It's
8 of
80 y'all.
us.
Like you are.
What'd you say?
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead. You good. Go ahead. Finish up.
My father, he has a daughter that obviously didn't live with us. He had her young, but she's a distant sister, but she lives in North Carolina. But I grew up with pretty much a lot of my siblings, bro, and obviously some of them are older than me, so it was some
Mm-hmm.
years that we were living in the same household. But I think I want to say a lot of my teenage years it was just me and my younger brother,
Got you.
because
Got
everybody
you.
else was already growing and out the house. So I got to see a
Got
lot.
you.
I've seen a lot
I can only
growing up.
imagine. And how are y'all? And how was your just relationship with all of your siblings? Like were you guys very close knit? What were some of the things that you were able to just learn from being in that environment? With all of your with all of your siblings.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, like, literally. I think this is where I kind of get the character decision making that I probably have today, is because I did see a lot of I would say disagreements and rebellion
Mm.
within my household. Just from you know when you have and you don't have kids right now, do you?
No, 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 no.
Okay, so when you typically have a mother in the house and there's a lot of sisters, a lot of female energy in the house, there can only be one queen, and
Mm.
typically there's always some sort of tension
Mm.
that will
Yep.
happen and that will spark. So I've seen a lot of arguments, and a lot of disagreements and stuff like that, where to the point where, bro, it was. I mean, so a lot of times it was cops at the house every day just from
Wow.
uh, stuff going on, you know, between my mom and my sisters and stuff like that. So I seen a lot of
Yeah.
that early in life, and why I say it kind of shaped who I was and who I became, and some of the decisions I made is like I seen things that they were doing that I obviously knew that had a repercussion to it, and
Got you.
I was like, man, I can't make those decisions. Uh, Seeing this at 12 and 13, I'm like, now I know I do need to be home at a certain time. I do need to
Mm-hmm.
do this. I need to do that before I can be able to do what I want to do. So I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of that, man, and it is what it is. But that kind of started shaping me.
Nah, I love that, bro. And I could kind of, and I definitely understand. I didn't have, eight, it wasn't eight of us total. It was only four. But just like me, I had two sisters, and
Hmm.
kind of growing up with them, and it was definitely just with two. It was already still like a lot, tic tacking and going on, and things going on in the household. So I could definitely understand and relate to, how that could kind of like help you matriculate and become, just the type of person that you are. And let's kind of pivot a little bit, now to, just your manhood. And when you started to get, of age, and you started to just really branch off and do your own thing. So I kind of just want to talk about you and your relationship with Brittany, man. First of all, shout out
Yeah,
Brittany. Brittany's amazing. I had the opportunity to, interview her in person, and it was a very, very solid conversation. And that's when she introduced me to you, man. And she just kind of told me a lot about you, and she thought that, we would just be able to have a great convo. So at what age or at what point were you able to just kind of go out there, and did you meet Brittany, and how did that moment kind of change your life and trajectory of, what you already had going on prior to, meeting her?
yeah, it's great. I think meeting her was, well, I think was it really was God. Because I'm gonna tell
Wow.
you this, coming out of high school. So back in Baltimore, there's typically there's typically different conferences that you're independent on, you know, your level of being able to play basketball. So so to
Right.
speak, if you're good, you're typically going to be in the Catholic League, right?
Yep.
So I was playing in the Catholic leagues, right? And the thing about it is that team was so loaded that I didn't really get an opportunity to kind of showcase who I was as a basketball
Mm.
player. So coming out of high school, I didn't have any offers to actually go anywhere to play collegiately. And so I took a year off, and I kind of traveled the globe of playing for this travel team, bro. And
Oh man.
everything in me was like, I don't want to go to a school called Eastern University. This is where I met her at, right?
Hmm.
And I said that because my older brother went there, and my current sister was
Ah,
going there.
got
And
it. So
this
you kind of
sister
wanted to just
was like
create
a
your own lane.
correct, and she's like a second mother, so to speak,
Got it.
because my sister. So I already knew how the experience kind of would be.
Hmm.
And lo and behold, bro, I had a conversation one day after me and my brother went to we went to New Orleans and worked out for the school out there. And when I was coming back, I said, man, if I don't get this scholarship, I think I'm gonna just enroll into Eastern University. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call the coach, and I'm gonna tell him my background. I'm gonna tell him who I am and what I think I can do for the program. And without him seeing me play or anything like that, I'm gonna just go there. I'm gonna just walk on. And
Mm.
when I got there, obviously I walked on. I was, I had already did a year in school already. So
Hmm.
they, in their eyes, I was a freshman, but I was really a sophomore. And
Got
when
you.
I met her, I met her spring semester. So when I met her in the elevator or something like that when she was coming out of the elevator, and I didn't think she actually went to the school. I
Right.
was like, she look a little older. I don't think she go here. She look a little too more mature than these other
Hmm.
females that I
The
seen on
average.
campus. You know what I'm saying? The average female. So I'm like, she don't go here. You know what I'm saying? And Lo and behold, she was roommates with one of my good friends at that school. So when I met her, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit rude to her,
Oh
but I had,
man, not rude.
bro, I had this Baltimore mentality.
I
It's so
already know
funny,
how
bro.
that go.
We can get into it, bro, because I had this Baltimore mentality of like grit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know how
Whatever,
that go. Just like New
especially
York. Yeah, it's just like be
yeah,
different.
just like in New York, and I had to have that to get to the place I was. You know what I'm
I
saying? I
got
had
that.
to have that
Hmm.
perseverance in me. So when I had that first conversation with her, I'm like, yo, you're not gonna open the door. You're not gonna hold this door real quick, so I can because I was helping her
Hmm.
friend move in. You know what I'm saying? I
Gotcha.
was helping her friend move in and stuff like that. So I'm like, you gonna open this door for me real quick? So that was our initial, kind of contact. And then what's crazy, she said she had hit up my current roommate at that time and asked
Hmm.
about me. And then one day I just
The
I
rest is
came
history.
to the room. Yeah, I came to the room one day and said, "What's up?" We chopped it up, bro, for 2 hours, like for 2 hours straight
Man,
talking, and the
that's
rest is
awesome, bro.
history.
That's awesome, bro. I think I could definitely say that that was God for sure.
Yeah,
Because to kind of see how you guys are able to just work out. And you kind of just mentioned where y'all are now, two beautiful kids and married. Now I kind of just want to dive into just like that marriage lifestyle and
yeah,
just the ability to balance and just work together, man. So many times because I'm gonna be honest, I've done an interview before, and one of the questions um, that I asked them was just like, are you able to work with your significant other? And because
mm.
they've worked very well, but to me personally, I don't think I can, right? And I'm gonna be honest, bro, I don't know why yet. Like I really don't. I truly don't. It just
Yeah,
haven't worked out the first time I've tried it, but it's just like I'm so much of that grit alpha male, and if it's
hmm
not my way, it's no way type of thing. So I'm still
hmm
trying to learn how to pivot and just matriculate that way. But when I see both of you guys, man, it's the teamwork, it's the realness, the authenticity, and of course, the people don't get to see what
yeah,
goes on behind, closed doors or the disagreements that you may have, or
yeah.
just, when things aren't always peaches and cream. So if you can just give the listeners and those that's just, watching, what are some of the keys to you guys maintaining such a sustainable partnership, man, and everything that you do? You guys do a podcast together and parenting. How do you guys find that balance of creating your own identities and doing you guys' own thing, but at the same time, just understanding that you guys have a brand together as well, and that we got to be able to, just kind of, have that camaraderie amongst each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. And I can agree with you, bro. I was kind of like that in the beginning. Like I was hard willed, set in my ways, kind of stubborn, just because of my just comes where I came from. You know what I'm saying? That was just
Hmm.
kind of the mentality. But with meeting Brit, everything just became so much more clear. And what I mean by that is she kind of made my life make more sense
Hmm.
in a way. And it's very easy because we have a core value of respect over anything. So we
As you
have
should.
so much respect for each other that we won't allow anything to come between it or come between us. And
Hmm.
when it comes to the business, it just took a lot. It just took a lot of maturing. You know what I'm saying? It just took a lot of maturing and understanding that we run businesses differently. We are
Yeah,
different and we have different things and we bring different things to the table. And I think once you kind of understand who your partner is and how they operate, you kind of can now give each other that much more grace and understand what their process is and what it's going to be like building
I love
a
it.
cohesive unit. You know what I'm saying? And
I love it.
having a basketball background, having a team oriented background, we both come from that. So
Yep.
we already understand like it takes more than just you.
Yep.
And you gotta understand like life is long, bro.
It
So
sure
to
is.
find life is long. So to find somebody that shares the same value as you is very rare. But once you find it, you gotta have the discernment and wisdom to know how to keep it and hold on to it.
Got you.
And I think that's what we kind of found in each other is like we have the same core values. And when we
Amazing.
when we kind of seen that, it made everything else make more sense. It made I now I know now I know I ain't got to worry about uh my partner. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mhm.
understand her. I understand how she operates. I understand how she runs a business. I understand all these different things. I understand what she going through mentally. I
Right.
understand that because
Right.
I've taken the time to learn her, and I also taken the time to learn myself. And that's another
Amazing.
key to it is that we took time to be self aware and learn
Mhm.
our habits, our triggers, and things like that to help us become better for each other.
I love that, bro. That's amazing, man. And just the trueness of that, like the realness of you saying, like, I have to be able to learn each other. And I think, but nowadays, a lot of the things that we see all over the place, a lot of people don't understand the importance of doing the self work and becoming better for yourself before you can even become better, for somebody else. Because how can you be there for somebody if you don't even understand who you are, as a person? So my next thing truly is just like, for you and her, as a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
As Malcolm, and just as men, you and I, sometimes we have these moments where, we're not our best self, right?
Yeah.
We have moments where it's like, we have our moments where we're feeling down. Financially, we might not be in the best space. Business isn't going well. Our mental capacity just isn't at 100, right? It's just not where it needs to
Mm-hmm.
be. But for you to have someone that you can trust and rely on in your wife, it still takes a little bit of, it takes courage to finally open up and do that, right? Which it
Oh
probably
yeah.
did you in the beginning, of course. Like, you didn't just willy nilly was open and vulnerable from the jump. It took time. So
Yeah.
how can you encourage more men, right? Because also I just want to be able to inspire somebody to say, we need to have that, person that we can rely on. So how can you give us some advice as men to be willing to be more open for your significant other, or to someone that you're just dating, right? Again, it might not happen overnight, but sometimes as men, we just kind of harm ourselves by holding on to all of this weight. When in reality, you got to be able to trust your partner, and
Mm-hmm.
allow them to help you get back to where you need to be. So, what's some advice you could probably give in that area of just like being more vulnerable and not thinking that you got to take on everything, by
Oh yeah,
yourself, right?
bro.
As a man.
Man, it's a weight that men carry so much, bro. And I would tell them like, bro, you gotta get out of your own way
Yeah.
because the right woman that comes into your life, she's not there to take anything from it. She's literally there to either birth something out of you or to be a helpmate to get you to where you're trying to get to. And when it came to Brittany and the times, bro, it's been time. We've been through everything, bro. And
All
she
right.
kind of she kind of
Yeah.
explained some of the stuff, you know what I'm saying, in y'all last podcast. Like we've been through uh
Already.
me me being the only person that worked the job and she didn't have any income. And that's completely fine. I'm not thinking nothing of it because that's what
Mm-hmm.
we typically that's
What we
that's
do.
what we are. We're providers. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I've been through me losing a job. I've been through us running a business together successfully and losing it. I've been through her having a job, me not having a job. It's so many different things. And
So
that's what I
many
mean by
different things.
so many different things. And that's what I mean by life is long is that you got to get out of your own way and out of your own ego. And sometimes
Yep.
for men, that's what makes us men, which is fine. Having our ego is fine, but you got to know and have the discernment to when to step out of it and
Yep.
understand what's the bigger picture.
Mm.
And I think that's where we miss is like you yeah you got to weight to carry, and that's completely fine. But sometimes, bro, you don't have to carry it all,
Absolutely.
and and there's gonna always be different seasons that's coming. So you got to know
Word.
what what do I need to carry in this season? What do I need to carry into the next season? And y'all can do that together. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what gets us to our goal a lot faster is
Hmm.
if we have somebody that is grounded and understands us and is willing to go in the same direction as us and be able to carry the same kind of stuff that we need to carry. I mean, be able to carry some of the stuff that we can't carry at that time. They carry
Yep.
it for us, and we can move forward. So it's really,
Yeah.
I would just tell people, bro, just step out of your ego, bro.
Yeah. I agree 1,000%, man. And let's kind of pivot a little bit, man. Let's talk about now. Let's get into the the nitty gritty stuff of just like what people know you for, man. People know you for giving value and being an entrepreneur and making things happen. So dive us into your intro to entrepreneurship, right? Like when did that when did that become a thing? Like, at what point did you say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to help people financially? What moment did that kind of click to you, and like, what was your intro like into that space?
You know, it's funny, bro. Like when I was, I want to say 10, 11, I always told my dad, because my dad, he's like a warehouse, kind of
Got you.
guy. So he worked in the warehouse. I've always worked in the warehouse with him. So I've learned, that side of how to get money. But
Yep.
what's crazy is I always told him that I see myself as a businessman. I want to be a full-time investor. I said this at 10 and 12. You know what I'm saying? I told myself I want to be a full-time investor one day. I didn't know
Wow.
what I was doing, what I was saying, what I meant by that.
Wow.
I didn't know I was saying I wanted to have money work for me and not fully just rely on working for money. And I had this in my subconscious at a young age. So when I met Brittany, I told her the same thing. When I met my wife, I told her the same thing. Like, I have goals of becoming a full-time investor.
Yeah.
Where I learn how to grow money and I have to always work for money. So what's crazy is when I got my business degree, I didn't know I would go into finance. I didn't know I would have a passion for finance until we got into IM. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of my introduction into entrepreneurship, because
Got it.
I was working for Enterprise at the time. So I was working for Enterprise, running a branch at Enterprise, and I just knew it was like, bro, you're working 60 hours a week and it's not making sense of what you're making.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't get stuck in this rat race, because I see what is happening to people. And eventually I became the worst person to work with, because I'm telling everybody how they can, like, literally, bro, we don't have to work this hard.
Right, we don't got to work
to make this amount of money. You know what I'm saying? I became that person. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I understand.
Anytime somebody spoke to me, now they want to, they want to go out
They want
here
to get up out of there.
Jeff Bezos. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Left and right.
That was kind of when I knew I had the entrepreneurial spirit and mindset. Now I just had to find the vehicle that made it make sense for me. And that's really what it is. It's finding the vehicle that kind of makes sense and that feeds your spirit of whatever you have. So where I am, I wasn't a big fan of network marketing, to be honest. My mom has been in network marketing since I've been alive.
Wow.
And I've seen her really not make a dime. So you can see my view of network marketing at that time. So when I'm seeing opportunity in this, I'm like, okay, I get the network marketing side. I get that piece of becoming an entrepreneur and doing that. But what I'm really interested in knowing is how they're growing money.
Absolutely.
And that became my sole really focus in the beginning. So when that became my focus in the beginning, we kind of used that as a pick and roll situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brittany was really heavy in the recruiting and getting in front of people.
Yeah, your AirPods cut off, bro. I don't know if you wanted to connect it or.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, but it's just going to be regular speaker. I don't know if that bothered you or not.
Hold on.
I'm not sure if it's that or not.
She wanted to get in front of people. And I had already. I'm not a guy that cares about attention. I've never been that guy. So I told her, like, if you can get in front of people, I can keep them. You know what I'm saying? I can get them. I can get them into the system and get them learn how to really become profitable in the market and stuff like that. So that's what we did, and we kind of ran that business. So that I was able to eventually quit Enterprise and now get into business with her full time, and we just ran that full time. So that was my introduction into being an entrepreneur, and like, okay, this is different, because I'm not. I'll tell you this, bro. I had the entrepreneur spirit. I didn't understand the instability of entrepreneurship. That's what I didn't. And this is what most people.
That's a great word to use.
Not understand. You know, this is what most people do not understand, and what they're not ready for. And that's what I had to kind of mature in and start to understand. Like, okay, I've always had something stable. There's no such thing as that when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And that was new for me. And that's when we kind of started having problems. Like, bro, like, I need to
figure it out.
You know, I need to figure this out. Like, this up and down, this fluctuation, I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? I will go back and do this.
I
and
already know.
I always wanted to keep our lifestyle a certain way.
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason for it, though.
And how do you, and just kind of hearing, just your experience with your intro to, entrepreneurship. A lot of people might be in the same boat of, okay, there's a lot of this fluctuation stuff going on. I could easily just go back to, 9 to 5 salary jobs, career, whatever the case may have you. But for you, it kind of seemed like that wasn't an option. It
Yeah.
kind of seemed like, you didn't want to go back to that 9 to 5 mindset workspace. So you figured something else out. Um, how hard is it though, or how much grit, do somebody truly need to have to kind of, you know, thug that out? You know what I mean?
Here's the thing,
Like,
bro. Here's the caveat to it. I wasn't like that. I was the first one ready to go back to a job.
got
Better
it.
tell
Okay.
you, better tell you, I was the first. This is why it's very, very important about who you choose.
Mm,
Because when you are down, or when you feeling in a season of uncertainty, if you have somebody that can speak life into you and speak life into the vision that you set, it can re-energize you.
ooh,
And
that's
it's
good.
been many times where she's had to re-energize me, because I'm like, babe, look, I know how to provide one way, and that's
Hmm.
to go out here and get a job. You know what I'm saying? I love
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, but I know how
But
to
I
go.
need
You
money.
know
We
what
got
I'm
to make
saying?
it work. Yeah, word. We got to
Yeah,
get
I know
right.
how to go make it right. Whether it's my hands, it don't matter what it is. I know how to
Hmm.
go get me a paycheck. And she had to tell me countless times, like, I want you to stick to your vision. I want you to stick to
Ooh.
what you're doing. No matter if
Mm.
things are going up and down, or whatever it is, whatever season you're in. She was like, I got you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
big,
to
bro.
have somebody that understands, like, yeah, she can do this, he can do that, but in this season, I got you.
That's big.
It's huge. You know
That's
what
big.
I'm saying? So it wasn't just the perseverance. It was somebody having the foresight to see what I haven't seen for myself sometimes. And sometimes
Mm,
we need that as men, as entrepreneurs in general. We need somebody that can keep us realigned. And that's really what it was.
mm.
It was her realigning me back to my vision. Like,
Yes.
okay, you're right. I can't do that. I can't go back to what's safe. Let me keep doing and keep going to what I'm trying to do.
Wow. And how much like, and now, and we about to pivot over to the other stuff, but how much, like, I don't want to say pride, but sometimes that, as a, like, for a man, and I just like asking these questions because, like, I just like to have all
Yeah.
types of perspectives out there. But you know, for a woman to kind of be the provider for a little period of time and things of that sort, how much pride, does that take away from men? I'm not saying that it took away from you, but, like, as a man, sometimes we don't, that's what we don't want, right? We don't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
seem like we can't provide,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
don't want to seem like we can't go out there and do what we got to do because our chick want to hold us down. And I
Yeah.
think that goes back to you saying that, that's why it's important who you choose. But
Yeah.
for a lot of the men out here, unfortunately, they don't have that person who truly understands that vision yet. So, what would you say for somebody that's probably going through a similar situation right now, that might be saying, "Hey, well, this was working for me, but now it isn't." What would you say to them? Would you tell them to go back and get a 9 to 5, or what encouragement would you give them, like Brittany gave to you, if that makes sense?
I think I would tell them, you do whatever your resources allow you to do. And
Mm, beautiful.
and the thing is, a lot, like you said, a lot of men do not have somebody like that in their corner that can hold down a season of their life while they figure something
Mm,
out. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
unfortunately, you just have to do what you got to do, and that's completely fine. For me, it wasn't necessarily a project. If you're a good man, you do feel like, man, I don't feel right in this season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which
Hmm.
I went through that. I was like, man, I don't feel right in this season. You know what I'm saying? But what it allows you to do is focus even more. It allows you to refocus yourself and really get
Hmm.
centered on what you're trying to do. And what it allowed me to do is allow me to get clear. So
I love it. I
so
love
the
it.
so the time, and here's the thing though. Here's the thing, bro. Women respect and women follow men that they already know have shown leadership or have
Mm.
shown to have wisdom. And
Oh, that's good. That's good, bro.
I've experienced that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've shown leadership. I've shown wisdom in times where we needed it. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to submit to that.
That's good.
And that's where I think that's where the underlying. I see this all the time when it comes to relationship podcasts. These people talk about all these different things what men don't do and what they will do, what women won't do. You know, and it's all this stuff, and
That's good.
it's out of immaturity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what it just told me is that women only submit to what they respect and what they know. If this man is wise and what his leadership
Wow.
is. So
That's good.
I already knew I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? My pride don't really want me to let her be providing in the season, but it also allows me to realign and get myself back focused on what I'm trying to do.
That's good.
Because seasons don't last forever. And that's the whole
That's
point.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Seasons don't last forever. They're not supposed to. And
That's good.
just like she's up, and maybe a season. Honestly, it's inevitable because this is life. There's a season where she won't be, and it's a season where that's what life is, ebbs and flow. And once we start to understand that, I think that's where you can kind of relinquish some of your ego and pride and put it to the side and allow the goal to get accomplished.
That's beautiful, bro. Very well said. That's beautiful, man. Shout out to y'all, man. That's super dope. And let's get into a little bit of, man. That was good, bro. Jeez. Let's get into just now, just the financial aspect now, man. You give a lot of great, just advice and ways for people to generate income or for people to just invest into the right spaces. So for you personally, and just something that you kind of want to throw out there for the audience, what strategies have been most effective, for you in generating wealth? And, not only for yourself, what could be some effective strategies for us as, individuals or entrepreneurs to generate, wealth or, another stream of income?
Yeah, I think, or I will say this: the biggest investment has always been in myself. And what I mean by that is, when I'll give you an example. So when I was looking to become a trader, when I was looking to start my trading business, right? It took a level of investment in order for me to even get the capital to begin to trade.
Got it.
If you make the investment, that investment is into you. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't get to that point of, do I make this investment because of the scarce mentality? It's that scarce mentality of like, will it work or will it not work?
Will it not work?
You got to get past that. You got to get past that. And then also the investment into some, you got to invest into the people that are invested in you. Meaning if they can relieve anything that allows you to perform, you invest time, you invest money. You know what I'm saying? It could be your wife, it could be it could be anybody. It doesn't matter. But you invest that time, you invest that money, wherever it is that allows you to. That could be a nanny that allows you to now go out here and build your business. Make the investment. You know what I'm saying? You don't hold on to it. You make the investment because you'll get it on the back end. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And
you sure will.
The financial world, I want people to understand the financial world is the Wild Wild West.
And I already know, yo. Oh my Lord.
And there are, I want people. There's all sharks. There's, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing but sharks.
Yep.
And you got to be smart in knowing what seems like a good deal and what seems like. If somebody's telling you that they can give you a return of 200%, red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like something that's just super weird and iffy. Yeah.
It's always best to build your wealth over time. And because our generation is so popcorn minded, is that we want it within a year. We want it within 2 years. It may take you a decade, 2 decades.
Yeah.
But it's really about consistency. Of just an example of S&P 500. You invest in the S&P 500 every single month.
Yep.
It's already proven. You're looking at things that's proven. It's proven that it'll give you a return of 10%.
Yep.
So when we're looking at 10%, it's like 10% only got $500 in my bank account. Yeah, but I'm saying if you invest $50 a month, $100 a month, and then you up
over time. Yep.
Over time, the law of compound is what builds wealth. And I think that's what I try to educate people on is like, don't think of the 30-year you. I want you to
I
think
believe
about
that.
you're 60
I
and
believe
having
that.
somebody not have to take care of you because you've taken yourself seriously in your 30s. And that's kind of
Amazing.
the message I have.
Amazing, bro. And that's awesome. And I've also, learned, well, something that you said in one of your clips before, man, and I thought it was something good to bring up is you mentioned, I think you said something in the area of one of the greatest generating wealth tools is real estate,
Yeah.
right? And owning, some sort of real estate, whatever that might be, house, land, whatever. Can you elaborate on that and just really real quick, just talk about how important owning real estate is when it comes to, income, right? And generational wealth and things of that sort.
Yeah.
Like for myself, you're educating not just the audience, but for individuals like myself. I've never really been too big on, the financial world and, real estate and things like I know what it is, but I've never been super invested into those type of and that type of language. So for individuals that might be just like me or that just might want to get, enlightened on those things, can you just talk about the importance of real estate and how that can help, one, just in years to come,
Yeah. I think real estate is all about how you want to leverage it because there's so many ways to make money within real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the owning of real estate comes in many different forms too. And I
Mm.
think typically we only know of buying a house and getting a mortgage. And if I was to tell you, if that's your only way of owning real estate, that's not actually an investment. That's not actually assets. It's actually a liability, because
Ah,
literally the definition of a mortgage is debt. You know what I'm saying? Like
yep.
that's the definition of mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you're pleading, you're giving a debt pledge of 30 years, and that's not what you want to do. It's literally thinking of how many ways is there to make money within real estate? It's thousands. But what's the way that kind of fits my lifestyle? If I can't leverage my credit right now and buy a home, well, how can I own that home? Well, there's REITs. You know what I'm saying? There's
Mm,
stock investment of owning a house. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So you can still have that in your portfolio without you actually physically going out there and buying the hard asset. Because what people don't understand is that if you do buy real estate, it's a tangible asset, but
Yep.
it's not liquid. And people forget
Ah,
it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? If you're not liquid,
uh,
that means it's there. You're up maybe 50,000 equity, 100,000 equity.
yep.
It's there, but you can't grab it
You
unless you
can't
take
just
out a
use that.
loan.
Yep.
Unless you take out a loan, now they're gonna give you an interest rate on it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So people don't understand the money game. You gotta understand the money game and how money is made
beautiful.
and how these banks are making money. They make money
Beautiful.
off of the interest rate. So
Beautiful.
anytime you get yourself in that kind of situation, you're taking away from your wealth. So you got to find a way to,
Beautiful.
how can I build a dividend and it pays me rather than me
Mm,
paying for it?
mm. I love that, bro. I appreciate you for giving that clarity. And how do you, what role do you think innovation plays in, wealth generation strategies, right? Like, because like you mentioned, you kind of you always got to figure out how to make something work, right? And there's a lot of creative people who are now millionaires and billionaires for being innovative,
Yeah.
right? So how important does innovation? How important is innovation when it comes to having that entrepreneurial mindset and just like generating wealth and things
Yeah.
of that sort?
I think it's important because if you want to last, you gotta be thinking. It's a book called Your Five Next Moves by Patrick Vet.
Mm, that's
Your five next moves. You gotta be thinking of your five next moves ahead. And
awesome.
with the understanding of what already works. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, so you gotta take a piece of what already works and put it with how can I now streamline and innovate this to a process that now can compete in the marketplace in the future. And that's all
Beautiful,
AI is really doing. You know what I'm saying?
beautiful.
AI is building our future. Now we got to figure out what's the way for me to streamline what I'm already doing, make AI work for me, and how I streamline it and scale it to a path where it can now make me more money in the future, and I can now be
Beautiful.
competitive. And that's really the mindset. It's like, okay, let's take what I already know. How do you make money in this particular industry, whatever industry you're in? How do you make money in this industry? Time in, time out, People been doing this for years. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are they probably going to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years? I'm not the same exact
That's
system.
good.
Now, what product, what AI tool, whatever it is, what is that out there that serves a need for a client that now allows me to be the first of the market or take up market share? And that's kind of the mentality.
That's good, man. That's good. That's amazing. This is gonna be my last one when it comes to financial. How would one measure though, like their success in that space, right? Because I think success is ongoing, right? Obviously, entrepreneurship, making money, but how would you measure your level of success when it comes to wealth generation and just entrepreneurship, in your own words?
Yeah, for me, I don't think it's not really a number for me. It's the ability to have the options for me. And so I don't have a number where I'm successful. I have a number where I know I wouldn't have to work anymore based on the knowledge I have.
Got it. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like 10 million.
That's
I know
good.
I have to work another day in
That's
my life.
good.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Just from understanding and learning finance, if I had that amount of money, I wouldn't have to work. But that wouldn't mean I wouldn't be out here doing something to actually, bring forth something to society, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's just, for me, as long as I can do what I want to do, be there for my kids, for my family, and I can do it on my own time, I think that is successful.
Beautiful.
Because that's all we want. You know what I'm saying? That's all people really want. And I was just reading a study about a CEO. He said he literally gave all his employees full vacation, no limit to vacation days. Wow. No limit to paid time off. And he just said, I'm gonna see what it does for a month. Nothing changed for a month. People weren't taking off crazy. People weren't, you know what I'm saying? People weren't doing anything crazy. So he did it for another 90 days. And he said what he saw was productivity went up 40%. So people get better at their jobs. And he said,
that's dope.
You know what I'm saying? So what he said was, what I learned is that adults just want to be treated like adults. Wow. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We don't need much to feel happy. We don't need much to feel like we're having a successful life, because it takes so many other things other than monetary to have a meaningful and happy life. So once we take some stresses out, we can now focus on other things that make our whole life better. And that's what it seems like. I showed that productivity went 40%, and that people really just want to be treated like people and adults, and they will make adult decisions. That's really what it is.
Wow. That's dope, bro. Damn, that's dope. Last thing before we wrap up real quick, got one at 3:00. I want to dive in a little bit really fast, just to fatherhood, man. Just like, just that feeling of, having, two children and being the father figure that, they can definitely truly look up to in years to come. What was that feeling like for you when you stepped into that area of fatherhood? And, what changed for you, would you say? What changed for you mentally in terms of the energy and effort that you would put forth when it came time to like provide for not just your wife and your and your foundation, but, now your children that you have?
Yeah, bro. Becoming a father will mature you faster than anything, I feel like. It'll mature you in a way of, you're now thinking, for me at least, I was thinking of things that I was going to be leaving behind to them. And I'm like, have I accumulated anything that will be a significance to their life at some point in their life when it needs to be a significance? And when I pre-played that, it's a clip I put on social media. I'm like, bro, I had a BMW, but I didn't have a life insurance policy on me.
I saw you talking about that.
And I talk about real estate being the number one wealth, way to create wealth, but really insurance is, you know what I'm saying? It's the easiest way, because you can buy wealth or you can create wealth, and it's easier to buy wealth. And what I mean by that is $60 buys me $1 million policy. So when you think about it, I started thinking about all these things. I'm like, okay, I got BMW. I don't have life insurance. First thing I need to do as a man and the head of this household is I need to protect y'all in case anything happens to me.
Anything happens. Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So this is where it matures you quickly. because we walking around sometimes we're not thinking of anybody outside of ourselves.
Yep.
And it immediately had me thinking about somebody other than myself, which is very, very different than me being a single man out here. You know what I'm saying? So part of that,
bro.
that's definitely it. And then being a father, bro, is now I'm a father of 2 boys. I got all the eyes in my heart at that point. So I tried my best not to put any expectations on them that I would have had on myself.
Yeah.
And that's very, very hard to do. Meaning like, I played ball, so I need you to, you know what I'm saying? I need you to play ball just in the same way I did. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put that on them, but what I do want them to do is be whole people and learning skill sets that make them a whole person. You know what I'm saying? We already got this thing, like we gonna help them. They're gonna get their life insurance license. They're gonna get so many other things. They're gonna get everything they need to be a full person that can provide for themselves and for anybody else that come into their life. But it becoming a dad grew me up so quickly that I knew I had to get my shit together. And most of the time, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's what it did for me, man.
I appreciate that, bro. And last question, I like to usually ask this to all of my guests, man, just to see where they are mentally, spiritually, business wise. If you can rate on a scale of 1 to 10, obviously 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I just ask that you be as transparent as possible, man. So where are you mentally? Like, where are you mentally? Where are you spiritually? And where are you business wise? Right. So mentally, obviously, you know how you feeling. Spiritually, your relationship with God, and just your faith. And then lastly, business wise. So on a scale of 1 to 10 for each category, where are you, and why do you give yourself that rating?
I would say, bro, mentally, I would think I'm at 7. 7, and what I say that is because every day I'm looking to learn and get better, but also so self-reflective that I'm learning different things about myself daily that I know, okay, this triggered me today. I know I gotta get better at this. You know what I'm saying? I know the way this person talked to me in this manner triggered me. So I gotta get better on how I react. So all these different things contribute to that. Spiritually, bro, I think I'm a growing progress in spirit, in my spirituality. I would say that's a 5 out of 10, or even lower. You know what I'm saying? Because what's crazy is I spent this entire year getting closer to God, reading the book, reading the Bible more, but also getting around a community of men that are also thinking the same way. And that's only because I actually found the church to go to consistently. You know what I'm saying? To be able to grow spiritually. So, and that's important. That's important for anybody
Very important.
Looking to lead a family and be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to find a house that you can grow and your family can grow spiritually in. And business wise, bro, I would say a 5 too. Still, we in the ground phases of everything. You know what I'm saying? That we don't. For me, bro, I got big goals. Like, I want to manage over $100 million in assets,
bro.
So that could take 10, that could take 15. I don't care how long it takes.
You don't care how long it takes. We just want it done.
You know what I'm saying? I just want it done. And every day there's an opportunity to push forward to getting that goal accomplished. So that's always gonna be there, especially with the taxes, bro. I mean, tax business, that's growing, but there's always room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning every day when it comes to the IRS. There's 72,000 pages of tax code. No one would ever know as much. You know what I'm saying? No one will ever know everything about what the IRS is looking for. So that's why I say 5 out of 10 on that too.
I believe that, bro. I appreciate you. And I mean, that's a whole nother topic we can even get into as well, man. I know we was kind of a little short on time, but so we'll save that part of the conversation for in person, man. But Malcolm, bro, I appreciate you taking this hour to just hop on and just be honest and give us the realness of just your life and things of that sort. But for those of you that might see this and watch this, if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, share. Malcolm, real quick, man, how can they stay in touch with you? What do you got coming up, and how can they just kind of like stay intact with the things that you got going on?
Yeah, bro. They can you can follow me Malcolm _2_ Garrison on IG. And then same thing on Threads. I don't really have a Twitter. I don't have Twitter at all, really. But I am on Threads, and that's where I kind of I break down like anything I'm learning from the economy to maybe trade setups that I'm looking for because I'm a swing trader. And any wisdom that I have when it comes to family, relationships, anything, I drop that wisdom on my Threads, so they can go follow that too with the same thing.
My dog Malcolm, bro, from one dude to another. Oh yeah, follow his. Oh yeah, bro, follow his podcast. There's so many things that we couldn't even cover, yo, just because of the sake of time. But so definitely stay tuned for part 2. But yo, Malcolm, just from me to you, man, I always like to just give flowers to the guests that come on. You know, I support everything you got going on. Just keep educating, bro. I'm very big on just information, right? And you seem to be giving, you know, great information, great value, not just giving value that, you know, is clickbait or, you know, viral or things of that sort. You're just giving people the authenticity and the real of just how the world works, bro. And I think we need more of that. So keep doing your thing. You know, send the family love for me. And I can't wait to come down at ATL, man. We're going to definitely get up and, you know, spend some time, bro. So keep doing your thing. I appreciate you for hopping on.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you for having me.
Already, man. Have a good one.